Go ahead. So first off, I just wanted to say that it's such an honor to be part of this group. I mean, looking at everybody here, top-notch athletes. So thank you, Jen, thank you, Sophie, for the opportunity to be part of this. So Doc, my question is a bit more general than everybody else's, if you don't mind. I think it's been typical for us to feel one form of pain or the other during training. I mean, we put in the miles, whether we swim, bike, or run. So my question is, how do we determine, hopefully not just through the internet, how do we determine if a pain that we feel is an injury and it's time for us to stop or rest, or if it's part of training overuse or part of the intensity that we feel?
Okay, that's a very good question, and the adage, no pain, no gain, does not answer it. But pain is a very good metric to temper your training. Pain will always be there. But Mark's question is, how do you know that you have to stop or when to continue? Okay, so it's actually a concept of adaptation for the body that lets us train to the Olympics. You understand? So we have to push our bodies a little bit more every time. Now, how do you know that you have to stop pushing? It's when you can't even do the most basic movements demanded of that limb for daily activities. Did you get that? If you can't even walk to the office, you can't even get out of bed, then you have to rest. But if you feel soreness and pain and you can still exercise, you can still move, you can still go through the motions of going to the gym and doing your usual routine, I will only advise an athlete to take it down a notch so that you could still listen to your body. So, for example, you get a strain in your quadriceps, you want to do leg extension exercises, do a notch, take the notch down. If you're usually doing 100 kilos, then put it down to 80 or even to 50, and then feel for the response of your body to that challenge. And if it's not aggravating the pain, then you can continue. As a sports medicine practitioner, I don't make it a point to make my athletes stop. That's why they love me for it. I have to adjust for them. I have to guide them on how to revise their training routine so that they don't get further injured. And even as you continue your training regimen, your body is healing. In fact, it heals better when you're moving. Did I answer your question, Mark?
Thank you.
But if you're in doubt, again, seek a professional. And I did not mean Dr. Google or Mr. Yahoo.
I have a question, Doc Ben. A lot of people have been asking me, especially my students now, because I'm a certified coach, an IT certified coach, and they ask me something so different from training, which is the dosage of the supplements, specifically Klean Athlete. There's a suggested dose at the back. All the supplements have suggested dose, but this is, I think, based on American or European standards and everything. We're Asians. We're smaller, we metabolize faster, and I think we're prettier. And I just can't seem to answer them, like, how do you dose, for example, the electrolytes and everything? I just say, for me, personally, I take, depending on the level I have, like a race, I sometimes don't follow the suggested dose. Sometimes I overdo it, sometimes depending on my body. Now, what do you recommend for the dose? Because sometimes it's kulang eh. Sometimes I still cramp. Sometimes it's over naman. So what do you?
Okay, that's a very good question. I do talk about a lot about athletes being very sensitive to their bodies, and being an athlete, they usually are sensitive to their bodies. That's actually the basis how you can tell these things, the proper dosage, what you need, what you don't need. But the thing is, if you want to do the science behind it, you have to have blood tests. You have blood tests before you start a specific sport, like for example, triathlon. You just don't jump there. That's why during our time, triathlon had no morbidities or mortalities even. Now, every race has somebody dying. because they're ill-prepared, they're not properly tested, and they don't provide what their body really needs. So do a simple lab test, just get your electrolytes. Now, a good way to monitor how your body is responding if you're taking the usual dose. So you have to start those recommendations at the back of the bottle. They are recommendations to start with, but they are not for everybody. So you can start with that, have your body or your electrolytes tested, and if they are still falling short of the normal range, and when we do say normal range for laboratory tests, we don't mean that if you're above the minimum, you're okay. No, for an athlete, you have to be way above the optimum, which is the median. So for a 10 to 100 range, you have to be above 50 or 60 even. So you have to maintain it that way. If you're taking a usual dose and you're not keeping that level, then you have to increase. And if you're over, then you have to slow down or go a notch down again, as I would say.
Thanks a lot.
So,
In other words, it's trial and error, sorry.
No, actually, I have a question of my own. I think this is something that a lot of us still debate nowadays, so we need experts' opinion. It's something very simple. When should you rather incorporate dynamic stretching, movement prep, and stagnant stretching? Because a lot of people still debate about this today. I have people come up to me at different events. You're all experts, so I guess for those of us who aren't that much of an expert yet, can you elaborate on this for us?
Well, the reason why there's so much controversy in it is because they want to generalize things. Okay, dynamic stretching specifically for a particular reason. You want dynamic stretching when you're cold and you're not agile enough. You usually do dynamic stretching for those who are high demand athletes, long endurance athletes. Static stretching is mostly for the gym goers. But the thing is, that's as generalized as it would go. So I see John Mac is agreeing because he's done this for years and he's seen the pros and the cons. But to put it rather simply, you need both. Okay, you need dynamic stretching for specific movements and exercises. You need static stretching for particular movements and exercises. To generalize all these things, you need to stretch before and after the sport or before and after the training. It's not just before and not just after. There's a controversy about that also. So you should stretch before or you should stretch after. You should do both again. Stretching before the exercise or the sport or the training prevents injuries. Stretching after prevents soreness.
So, Doc, one of the reasons why I asked that question is because a lot of people go to, like you said, Dr. Google or Mr. Yahoo. So it's as simple as the questions get. A lot of people still get the answers wrong. So of course, it's best to know from the experts. Now, speaking of our experts here on stage, I open the floor to anybody out here who has any question they would like to ask. Because now's your chance. You know, we have over, I don't know, maybe 100 years of experience here on stage, so now's your chance. Go ahead.
Please ask them as well, okay? They're the ones on the field.
I meant combined. I didn't mean everybody's age. I just meant combined. Take it away.
Hello. Hello, good morning. My name is Edison Gonzalez, reporter from Malayan Business Insight. And my question is for you, doctor, or for the co-founder. Why is it imperative to cherry-pick nutritional supplements that best fit the athlete's lifestyle? And second one is, I've heard lots of stories on endurance, muscle restoration, etc. So does Klean athlete have these powerful ingredients that help, these pains, etc.?
Okay, Roger, maybe I can just mention something for the foundation of science and then you can take it from there. I like the word cherry pick because that's actually a good thing. You really have to cherry pick your supplements. Again, you only know one from testing and two from experience. So what's good about these specific supplements, and I'm sure you've seen all these things in the market. This is for strength, this is for endurance, this is for repair. It depends on your demand on your body. And like I said, the body is practically made the same way, but we have differences in demands to it. So one, have yourself tested. See which which vitamins and minerals and even electrolytes you are low on, and that's where you start supplementing. And then as you increase the demand on your performance or maybe you get an injury, you need more for recovery, then that's when you add certain cherry-picked supplements again. Yeah.
I think that's basically it. I think Doc Ben covered everything, but on an athlete and coach's view, I think it's cherry picking whatever you need in the market right now. And maybe you may want to supplement Klean Athlete with another, but with another supplement brand. But Klean Athlete has it all. You know what? In my experience, in a layman's term, the harder, the stronger it is, the harder you fall. So when we tried supplements before, sometimes the end will explode. When you take it, boom, it really hits you like, wow, I'm ready. But when it crashes, it really crashes. So basically, and that from the get-go, that is like banned already. That's one of the contaminants already, because like it came in really quick, and then you really crashed really strong. So some clean supplements, but I tried. Everybody's saying it's just steady. It's just steady and everything. It's clean. So that's, I'm not hard selling Klean because it's basically the best.
That's actually the reason one of the things I was mentioning earlier. We have athletes who stick on to supplements because it makes them feel good. It makes them perform better during a particular instance, but then they crash after. And these are the athletes that I've seen from my experience that get banned because they tested positive. So I don't know if they're taking it from their supplements, or they're getting it from the supplements, or they're really getting something, or taking something specifically. But whenever I ask these athlete patients of mine, they say they only take these supplements. So these things or these substances must be hidden to make them effective for athletes.
That's true. And